Nic Rohloff of the Heat Report here, coming to you after the brutal Game 3 loss at home on Saturday night. We have Game 4 coming up on Monday evening, which we'll be live for, so make sure you tune in for that. But we do have an injury update for the Miami Heat, and specifically Terry Rozier and Delon Wright. Rozier and Wright obviously were both out for Game 3. One was likely going to be back for Game 4, but it's not the point guard that you want back in this game. Terry Rozier, with that neck injury, is already ruled out for Monday night's game against the Boston Celtics. Delon Wright, who was out on Saturday with personal reasons due to a family matter, I believe was it listed as, he is now probable, so it's good news to get Delon Wright back, who actually has been quite good through the first two games of the series. But obviously the headliner here is Terry Rozier not being available. And it is heartbreaking, I'm not going to lie, because I really thought there was a slight possibility he would be ready to go for Game 4 on Monday, and you desperately need him back because you saw in Game 1, you saw in Game 3, that when the Celtics really lock in on the defensive side of the ball and hound your ball handlers, you just do not have enough guys to handle the ball and defeat the Boston Celtics perimeter defense, get to the rim, and facilitate for others. You obviously had Tyler Herro have the best game of his career on Wednesday in Game 2 when he had 24 points and 14 assists with only a pair of turnovers. It was the best game he's ever played. And he also held the Celtics to 2-14 shooting as the primary defender. But Herro is not built to have that performance every single game. So you needed someone to take the pressure off Herro, just handling the ball, let Tyler breathe, because when he's the ball handler for every single minute he's on the court, he's getting hounded by Derek White, Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown. Those are three very, very good defenders, and they're also blitzing and doubling him off every pick and roll, not letting him get any airspace and get any straight lines to the rim. So it is exhausting physically and mentally to have to deal with that for 48 minutes. So getting Rozier back where he could handle it, stretch the defense, be a threat, and actually probably your best perimeter scorer, because of how he can just get his own shot, get to the rim, break you down in a one-on-one situation, and make more difficult shots, whether it be contested step backs, sidestep mid-ranges, or floaters at the rim. Getting Rozier back to me was paramount if the Heat wanted to win this series, and not having him for Game 4 is going to get dicey because putting it all on Tyler Herro is not going to be ideal. We are going to be live for Game 4 on Monday night, so make sure you come subscribe to the channel and join us. Game is at 7:30 Eastern Time. We will be live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 30 minutes before we tip off. It will be myself, Nic Rohloff, with Cullen Brown, who was with us for Game 1. Should be a lot of fun for Game 4, and hopefully the Heat are going to be able to even the series before heading back to Boston for Wednesday's Game 5. There is going to have to be a lot of adjustments made by Erik Spoelstra on this Miami Heat team. You saw the adjustments made from Game 1 to Game 2, and they were very promising, right? The Heat's offense was terrible. They scored 91 points and lost by 20 in Game 1. They come back and obviously light up Boston, scoring 111 points in Game 2, knocking down a franchise record amount of three-pointers in 23 for Game 2, and you win by 10. But then in Game 3, that was the worst offensive display I have ever seen by the Miami Heat in the first quarter. They scored 12 points. 12! And the sad part is the game wasn't even over after the first 12 minutes because you only allowed 21. Where you lost the game was the second quarter when you, once again, only scored, 25? They scored 27. They got to 39 at the half. But guess what? You gave up 40. 40 points. You were down 60. I think it was 42, I believe, actually. You were down 63 to 39 at the half. That's unacceptable, and that's where you really lost the game. But you obviously also can't start the game scoring 12 points and shooting 2 of 15 from the field. The Heat's offense was out of sorts, and it was just out of whack. And I'm not going to put all the blame on Tyler because Bam was missing some shots he usually makes. Jovic was good a little bit. Jaquez got hot in the second half, but it was ultimately for nothing. I have some thoughts on some players that need to step up for Miami in just a bit, but we are sponsored by Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in the market. And as the Heat continue their playoff push and the NBA postseason continues, you have to get in on the action as it heats up on the hardwood. There's also big-time games in the NHL, MLB season's going underway, soccer all the time, League of Legends as well. There is going to be constant action in the sports world. And the best part about it is that you can make your money off some knowledge on hoops, NHL, with Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Get a first deposit match up to $100 with prizepicks.com/CLNS, code CLNS. If you're watching this on Sunday, you would know the Mavericks and Clippers are squaring off. I'll go less than on 53.5 points, rebounds, and assists for Luka. I'm not sure why I would do that, but I just got a random hunch because I just feel like it's a low game for him, so I'm going to the less than. I'll go more than on Kyrie Irving, 24. He's a hooper. No Kawhi Leonard for the Clippers, which means I think Kyrie is going to get a lot more good looks. And Paul George, playoff P, way off P, is struggling in this series. I'll go the less than on 29.5 points, rebounds, and assists. You could get up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks with Prize Picks. Pick more, pick less. It's that simple. It's that easy. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, or just download the app and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. All right, someone that needs to step up and get their shit together, if we're just going to be honest, is Caleb Martin. Obviously, we talked about Code Red Caleb and his 21-point performance with 5 threes on Game 2. But like Tyler Hero almost, it's like, don't show me Game 2 if you're not going to do it in Game 1 or 3. Caleb was terrible in the first game. He was even worse yesterday. And he admitted after the game that he wasn't looking for a shot early. He wasn't trying to insert himself and be aggressive offensively to start the game. That's a mistake. We're undermanned. We're under-talented. You don't have Jimmy. You don't have Terry Rozier. Duncan Robinson is a shell of himself with that back injury. You need all the offense you can get, and if you're Caleb Martin, you need to come to the game with a more focused attack, attention to detail, and not be afraid to take jump shots, because is your jumper the prettiest? No. Is it the most efficient? Not really. But when you can get hot and stretch the defense, we've seen how good it makes this Heat team. There needs to be a consistent third offensive threat alongside Tyler Hero and Bam. We've seen it be inconsistent as hell so far. When you had a consistent third guy in Caleb Martin in Game 3, alongside Tyler and Bam's 20-plus points, you won. But you didn't get it in Game 1, you didn't get it in Game 3, and it just made you start off unbelievably slow offensively, and you need to get a better start. I mean, I don't want to say the first quarter is the most important, but it does mean a lot, because just think about the first 3 games. You jumped out on the Celtics pretty big time, and you had a lead in Game 2. You won that game. Game 1, you fell down 12-0. Now, you fought back and made it 26-21 in the first quarter, but you still were down 12-0, and then in Game 3, you're down 21-12 after the first quarter. The first 12 minutes of the game are very, very important, and I don't know if Erik Spoelstra is going to change the starting lineup. Maybe he should, maybe he shouldn't, but that starting 5 has not got off to hot starts in this series so far, and that needs to change. Will it change, though? Will the Heat win Game 4? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let me know your thoughts on the most important game of the season for Miami so far. Before we head out of here on today's video, I do want to note that Kevin Love said in the post-practice interview that the Heat will have a way better game plan for Game 4. Don't tell me, Kevin. Show me. That's all I'm going to say on that matter. So subscribe to the channel, and hopefully they do show me a better game plan on Monday night. Like I said, subscribe because we are going to be live, so hopefully we see you there.